Hello, hello. How goes? We got a fun mini stream today. Gonna be playing versus the Danakan. Oh boy. Should be fun. Let me see. What the? I'm not able to drop out of my own tournament. Why does that command not work? Well, I'll have to fix that later. Hope you guys are doing good though. Sorry, let me just see. What in the world is going wrong with my tournament, bro? Open in Explorer. Huh. Alright, no idea what's going on there. I'll have to fix it later. Let's just start the tournament first. And then we should be good to go. But today I'm playing versus Danakan. We're gonna be doing a best of 3. Should be fun. We're playing in the Warhammer League and we're both in semifinals. So that's exciting. Tournament has begun. Okay, so let's see. Let's make sure we're actually able to match up versus people. Okay, it looks like it is matching people. Okay, we're good. We're goodies. Actually, I think I see. Okay, I didn't even sign up to the tournament. Okay, then we're good then. We're good then. Maybe after I beat Danakan, I can play some tournament games, but we will see. I am, of course, very busy as of late. All right. Okay. Where were you at? Been busy, man. I got like home stuff to do. It's a busy month. Yeah, like contact lawyers, building management. Oh, man. Mortgage stuff. So much stuff. So much back and forth. I just can't wait for it to be done. Who's the ultimate opponent? It's Danakan. He's back. And they're already here. Oh, very exciting. But yeah, Danakan's a menace. They signed up for the Warhammer League a while ago. You know, back from a long break, and they defeated Chosen, who was quite the scary player. They were able to take me down and Zarix. And then Danakan dumpstered them. Now I also beat them in the in this tournament. That's how I'm facing Danakan now. So it looks like we're all in tip-top shape. But yeah, I really don't know where Danakan stands right now. I assume they've already gone the rust off because they've been playing a good amount. But I guess we'll see. First map is Decrepit Moor. Alright. Okie dokie. And it appears we have the match beginning. Who's top bracket? Danakan's top bracket. Okay. We'll ban his Dark Elves. That'll get him. Is he playing Dark Elves? Not today, he ain't. Danakan plays a lot of factions, though. Maybe they play Betonia. What if they go for Betonia? Can I defeat their Betonia? What if I just ban them? We just ban their Betonia, faces Dark Elves. I feel like that's a terrible idea. Feel like that's an awful idea. What's gonna be the first ban? It's gonna be the Norskins. Interesting. They didn't ban Slanesh. They actually banned straight up Norska. That's kind of wild. Or you have a counter or something? His first pick is Slanesh. The guy plays Slanesh. Oh, jeez. Only slightly terrifying. What's a safe second pick? So if they're going Slanesh, I think I can do this. But don't you mention, yeah. Dang, Pope Patty's fast. Kislev. Hell yeah, I went Coast. Coast counters Kislev and Slanesh. We've won it. I just need something that can beat Kislev and Slanesh. Who does well against both? Who done diddly? You know, I'll just try this. Could not think of a good enough second counter. Alright, they went Empire. Empire, Kislev, Slanesh versus Slanesh, Vampire Coast, and Wood Elves. An okay lineup. I've had better. Can feel the adrenaline kicking in. Interesting. Wood Elves is kind of a weird one. I don't know if they even do well versus Slanesh nowadays. Slanesh got so much stuff. Danakan picking Slanesh is wild though. And he bans the Slanesh mirror. Okay. Alright. So let's see here. Empire. I think I can beat his Empire with my Slanesh. Though I know Danakan has a bunch of fancy plays. I'm gonna go the Light Wizard and maybe Mega Box it. Let's see. Empire versus Coast is kind of weird. Empire does have a lot they can do versus Coast, same versus Wood Elves. Danakan does like Empire. They also like Kislev. Slanesh versus Kislev is kind of weird too, mind you. Interesting. Did they just full counterpick my Slanesh? Do I play Wood Elves versus Kislev? That's just a bad matchup. We get rid of that. I think I want to leave my Slanesh up for now. And then I'll ban... I think I'm okay facing their Slanesh. So do I ban Coast into Empire? Is that one I want to ban? Can Danakan beat my Coast with Empire? That's kind of a wild idea. Interesting. Honestly, it seems like I have a lot of good matchups. It seems like I have a lot of good or decent matchups. I haven't seen Danakan play Slanesh though, so I don't know what flavor of speed demon they like going for. I could ban Empire and Coast maybe. Yeah, or I could ban a Slanesh matchup. God, there's so many options. You know, I'll ban Empire Coast. Danakan's played enough Empire. I think you might have something cooked up. I think if played well, especially on a map like this, it's not the best for me. A Ice Knee Raider, hello. Coast counter Slanesh, that's cool. Yeah, their zombie hordes are actually really hard to get rid of. Slanesh is all about shock damage, but their average damage isn't nearly as good. And because the fight with Vampire Coast is so long, and because the zombies are actually insanely cost efficient in melee, Slanesh doesn't do very well. Typically, the only thing that beats zombies are hyper melee specialists like Wrathmongers. You know, that kind of stuff, like Corn units. Like dual weapon marauders and the like. But like even a unit of Forsaken apparently down trades versus deckhands. So yeah, it's a little rough for most factions that really want to go into melee. Slanesh's speed doesn't benefit them nearly as much there. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, seems like my tournament is going, and it is going well. Very nice. I can check in on it later. Right. Just exchanging some messages. I think Danakan's thinking hard about his picks and bans. Oh man, this will surely be a pretty crazy semifinal. Just a best of 3 though. Alrighty. Hey Hattie, hello. Bloat Max. Alright, come on, Danakan. Come on. Oh man, let's see here. Do I want to play Slanesh versus Empire? I think Danakan beat my Slanesh versus Empire last I played it. Has it changed? Empire can crumble pretty fast if you just have enough high DPS frontline material. You kind of just walk into them. Maybe I could pull off a sick rush, maybe. Slongor spam is okay. Oh, the mask is banned though. I forgot about that. In this tournament, mask is banned. So I can't just spam them out. Danakan bans Vampire Coast versus Kislev and Slanesh. That is extremely that is what we predicted. So I can play Wood Elves versus Empire. Wood Elves versus Slanesh. Slanesh versus Kislev. Ooh, how do I want to do this? Ooh, alright. Very interesting. How do I want to do this? Danakan's a menace, man. Danakan's a true menace. Now, if he goes full Empire, you know, I kind of just want to face Empire or Kislev. The map's kind of big, right? I would be remiss to not get a Slanesh game in. How you doing today? Pretty good. We're gonna see if Danakan has a counter to Slaneshiness. Alright. Alrighty. Oh boy, yo, I'm stressing, man. Danakan's terrifying. He's kinda terrifying, man. Oh, alright. Just gotta calm myself. Ugh. Alright. What does he want to play as? He can play as Empire or Kislev. The map is kind of big though. Decrepit more. So we can kind of just play off of tickets and be mostly okay. Nurgle game is almost as good as Slanesh. In terms of the fun factor, Nurgle is definitely very fun. Lock in that Preyton. Oh man, dude. I have not been playing a ton of games recently, so these kind of best of 3s, especially because I didn't get to warm up today, always very sus. But I've played this many times before. I should know how to play this. I'm getting so many messages right now. All right. Just some adminning with the tournament. I have a tournament running at the same time because it was scheduled, but unfortunately I could not play because we got the Danakan match. Of course. Next to mortgage rules, Danakan is not that scary, remember that? At least the mortgage is an understandable terror that I can that we can fathom. Danakan has all the unknowns. It's true though, in terms of overall impact. that is quite spooky compared to this guy. Seekers of Slanesh are kind of weird too. He's thinking though. So I called his bluff. Right? He's like, oh geez, Intensity actually does want to face my Empire or Kislev. Surely Danakan has not been hard grinding. The strats. Danakan is the GOAT. I know. Don't gotta tell me. Without the mask, this does get quite a bit more difficult too, mind you. I wonder, if I run Sigvald, is Sigvald actually insane here? There's a non-zero chance that he just doesn't have an answer to Sigvald, and he can just crush face. Then again, War Wagons kind of annihilate the poor guy. And I think the current Empire build has a counter there. I think they run the wagons. So, yeah, probably not. Probably gotta be quite careful. He wants to face my Slanesh with Empire. Oh boy, here we go. Oh man, yo, this guy's terrifying. I'm also suddenly really cold. Anyone else shivering, or is it the adrenaline? Oh man, it's been so long since I faced this guy. The worst part is he's kind of a great guy too. It's like super nice, super chill. I think I know how I want to do this at least. But yeah, he's like super duper chill. A wonderful dude that will tear you apart with no remorse. Oh boy. Alright. This seems like an okay build. Alright, here we go. Empire's pretty bad at capturing points, so if I can get a point lead, we're good. New Zealand, it's winter right now, you can't feel your knees. Maybe I should turn up the heat, you know what? Let's get toasty. Alright, the toastifying begins. Oh! Oh boy. You played against Danakan a few times. You never even came close to winning. The scariest thing about Danakan is his consistency. I can be a scary player, but sometimes. Danakan's just like always a scary player. Oh boy. Oh boy. I know he likes the Shem's Burning Gaze. I know that's very popular. He has the youth, yeah, the endurance. Thankfully, it's just a best of 3. Alright, here we go. I think I want a lot of this. And then I need some way to break into his backfield. I need, like, to clear infantry, basically. Or if he just goes, like, a land ship. Just goes for the dread land ship plays. Completely annihilates me. Embarrassing. Embarrassing us. I guess this is fine. Yeah, this is a fine build. I think it gets the job done. Here we go. Oh boy. You can see this matchup in the World Cup if France makes it past the Netherlands. Oh. I think I have a World Cup game scheduled tomorrow. I'm playing against Catholic Alcoholic, so That'll be interesting. Beat him with kindness. He's already too kind. He outclasses me in every way. Okay, here we go. Nice simple build, yeah. So this build obviously can't fight your typical Empire. Little death blob. But if he goes for a box, he can't really get into a great position, right? You see how far these points are? It's actually very hard to get a box to work that way. And I'm kind of counting on that. Using my mobility to capture the points early. And camping his backfield. To kind of put him in a tricksy position. And then win on tickets. The biggest, most important thing to do here is to not get overzealous. We get overzealous, we die. If I fight him in the box, it's over. But looks to me that Danakan has gone for Outriders. Pistoliers! Wow, okay. That's interesting. He has a netcaster, okay. Sure. Well, I'm just gonna go for it then, right? You may get a couple hits in, but the nets are not infinite, good sir. Get some Forsaken going. Get the charges going. He's gonna get a little bit of hokey poke, but nothing too crazy. Okay, no, he's gonna get into his backfield. That's okay though. I can kill Marcus. If he doesn't handle this well, Marcus just dead. There you go. We already got one of the cav units dead. That's good. Gonna drop it like it's hot. Okay, we're gonna try and get into his backfield a little bit. Shimmy myself in. Hey, if he just misplays, it's great. Marcus is taking a lot of heat. I don't think he likes this engagement. Not very much anyways. Going to be able to collapse on these Empire Knights so that they cannot provide much support. And then if we kill off his Lord at the very get-go, I think he's a dead man. I think he might have overspec'd on the Pistoliers actually. Marcus is getting brutalized. Oh my goodness. Marcus is getting absolutely brutalized. I'm just gonna boost the vigor on my Lord real quick. Gonna pull away some of the cav. He's chucking in some spears, but that ain't gonna do super well. Very nice. Okay. Just gotta kill the dude. Hey, maybe the Furies can disrupt the Light Wizard, stop him from chucking a million spells at me. The most important thing though is just getting this clean disengage. As long as you stay in the trees, I'm happy. Ooh, I believe that's a Marcus Shatter. Hell yeah. Very nice, very nice. He's gonna land the Vizard. That's okay. Because I'm about to tear out all these Empire Spearmen. Very nice. And he's lost a unit of cavalry. Pretty good. Thank goodness Slanesh is so strong. This would be very sketchy otherwise. Oh, he whips it. Too close range. Too close. Very good. Let's just disengage with the cav. He does technically have a value lead. And these guys did somehow survive. I just need to kill Marcus. We did mention not getting over eager as one of the things we gotta be careful about. Oh, this will be an amazing Pit of Shades though. He has a lot of great swords, but they're slow. And he still doesn't have this point. So time-wise, we're doing very well. And there you go. There's the big collapse. There's the big collapse. You may have nets, but you only have so many. Hey, there we go. Very nice. Let's kill these dudes. We got our army abilities up now. That's very nice. And I think it's time we ground this wizard over here. I'm kind of done with this wizardry. It's time for the power trip. Hey, even got a capture point. Hell yeah. Oh, he knows it. He knows I want to rampage the guy. Boop. Hello, wizard. Come to my embrace. Come on. Come on, darn it. There you go. All right. That should do. Let's pull in over here. We got many more charges. Many more charges to be had. I just need to make sure I don't throw this game now and we're good. But I think the whole 0 ticket situation is showing that we have a pretty solid situation. The Wizards just getting bullied. GG. Very nice. Warhammer League. Danny won. GG, well played. All right, well, that's terrifying. But Slanesh is good. Who would have guessed? Slanesh is very good. Look at that. 2002 hundo. Very nice. Honestly, it's not like he misplayed. He pulled his Pistoliers to his lines perfectly. It's just the map wasn't suited for the build and the situation that was going down. We didn't give him the opportunity to farm value with the Light Wizard. And I caught his cavalry in the trees, which is perfect for me. Had he not had Pistoliers, I wouldn't have needed to attack. He would have been able to poke me, but then I still would have had a pretty nice lead on tickets. But yeah, Empire Knights suck, bro. If there's one thing I tell all players, well, nah, there's a few things, but Empire Knights are bad. They bad, man. They super bad. No time to get overconfident, though? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I can ban Slanesh for the rest of the series now. And that'll stop him from playing him. Now, this does allow some sick Dark Elf action and the like to come through. We do have to be at least a little bit careful there. Oh, crap. What's the map? Proving... No. A Ragnarok Lair. Oh, boy. A Ragnarok Lair. So my first pick was Chaos. His first pick was Dark Elves. Who would have guessed? Let's see here. Who does he want to face, though? Who does he want to face? Dark Elves is an interesting one, too. But this map is very good for some select factions. And I think that's an advantage we can make use of. The question is, what's the second faction gonna be? Mine was Coast. His was Corn. Danakan on the Corn. Oh, jeez. Did not expect that. He knew I wanted to play Coast. This guy read me like a book. Okay, well, we have a few other reasonable options. I still have Wood Elves. We can always whip out them woodies. Chaos is good versus Corn anyways. Do I really have to worry? Okay, I'm gonna sneaky beaky him. Yes, he went Gislev. Aha! So I made a sick play. All right, basically, what Danakan did. He saw. I'm so in his head now. He saw that I was going for Vampire Coast, and he just counterpicked them with Corn. So he thought, this guy ain't gonna go another undead. He's just gonna get counterpicked again. He would never. But that's the thing. He wants to beat Chaos. So he counterpicked for Chaos. He counterpicked for Chaos. And that means that he was ill-prepared for the vampire counts. Amazing. All right, now I just have to win it. Let's see here. Corn. Vampire Coast versus Corn. That's a terrible time. We banned that one. Huzzah. Oh, man. Oh, this is it. This is it. This is it. We're on a Ragnarok Lair. This is a good map for undead because of the close points. This is perfect. Oh, this is so perfect. Wait, is Danakan streaming? Does he have a POV? I will say Marcus being way overextended was what really screwed him. If Marcus was in the trees. Well, I was still destroying his Pistoliers, but getting that kill is what secured the victory. Definitely time to flex with bloats. Ah, yeah. Streaming on Discord. Hell yeah. Of course, you guys already know the no spoilers rule. I don't think anyone's broken that rule, though. Nor do I think anyone here wants me to have an advantage. You guys love seeing the masochism. Oh, man. Every opportunity you get to see me suffer is a win in your book. The sweats. And he's banned out Coast in its entirety. Hell yeah, that's a good sign. Which means his vampire counts versus Kislev, Khorne, Dark Elves. I'm gonna ban counts versus Khorne. It's just a bad matchup. We get rid of those. Chaos versus Dark Elves is weird. I could force counts into Dark Elves. I think Danakan would also want to fight that, which makes me not want to fight it. Chaos versus Kislev is a very interesting one. Is this map good or bad for Kislev? How does Chaos in general do here? The walk versus thing versus the Kislevites. I don't know, man. They got a lot of pew pew. It's very easy to control multiple points, and you have your safe reinforcement. I could see that being pretty sus. Maybe I get rid of that. I think it's quite likely we face as Dark Elves unless I want to play Chaos versus Kislev. Alright, let's try this. Danakan will still be able to get a fairly decent matchup just because he likes playing Dark Elves. Like, I'm sure he's happy to play Dark Elves versus anything but the hardest of counters. Oh, thank goodness the heat is on. I can feel the shivers going away. Coast might be Danakan's most hated faction in the game. He'll ban it every time, really. Ooh, the deets. The secret sauce to defeat the Danakan. I will say Coast is a very annoying faction to deal with. It's you know, they kind of just DPS check a lot of factions. It's kind of like vampire counts. So a lot of the time, you know, you can play very, very well, but if the Coast player or the vampire counts player plays it properly, it can feel almost hopeless. And they also don't have to execute super tightly. Like, you know, executing tightly will give you a few hundred gold margins, right? But you know, realistically speaking, most of the time the game is decided via the build, unless there's a huge skill gap between the players. But at this level, we're kind of close. Lewin double lightning build, like Uranus Thunderbolt. That's kind of crazy. Aha! Okay, it's vampire counts versus Dark Elves or Chaos versus Dark Elves. Interesting. Danakan's Dark Elves is an absolute menace. We all know that. All right, vampire counts it is. So last time we played this, Danakan did beat me here. It is true. Danakan was able to succeed. And that was kind of rough, but I don't think it is impossible for us to achieve the victories. I do kind of have a rough idea of how Danakan likes to play the matchup. So that much is definitely very good. Do I want this ability? Maybe. Maybe. Good. Let's see here. Do I want this spell? Do I? Probably not. I think this is fine. I think the thing is, Danakan also knows how I kind of enjoy playing this matchup, but that doesn't change too much, does it? We must break them. We must break the man. I will say there's some fun Corsair maneuvering tech. Just kind of running around at the Corsairs. They can get a lot of work done. It can actually get a quite significant amount of work done. But just shooting you to death, meleeing your poor zombies and skeletons to death. But that does not mean we are without options. The Dark Elves. They may be scary, but they are not impossible to defeat. Get a cool color scheme? Yes, of course. Danakan's already on it. See the Strigoi Empire. Sure. Alternatively, I could do something wild. Oh boy. Okay, this is getting into some silly territory, ain't it? This is getting some real silliness. I promise you I'm not throwing. I promise. I promise. But this could potentially be insane. It could be the hottest garbage you've ever seen in your entire life. Musion. That one's pretty fun. Okay, alright. Alright. This is kind of a wild build. And by kind of a wild build, I mean this is close to absolute insanity. The Black Coach build. Black Coach is quite interesting. I must say it's quite the interesting unit. I don't know if I would love it. Let's see here. I could have this. Let's see, what else do I want? Okay, so I do like where this build is starting. I like the rough idea of what I'm looking at here. I must say that this build is kind of insane. Would you put replays to watch? What do you mean? Like, do I put replays? Or do you put replays? Ooh, okay, yeah, that's kind of nice. Okay, okay. There's a chance this build is hot garbage, by the way, but I think it cooks. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's pretty sure this does pretty good. There's a lot of ways this goes absolutely horribly for Danakan. We're talking just completely disastrous. If done correctly, it could just be an easy peasy lemon squeezy victory. He has a normal Dark Elf banner right now. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The build hinges on a little. It's a little bit of a cheese. It's a little bit of a cheeser. So, with the usual main tide style, which I think Danakan is predicting, he can kind of hard tech to beat it. Kite, skirmish, use a bunch of Corsairs and win it. Use like Malekith to kill the White Kings. I know his build though. And the only way to get fear into a man's heart is to bring the unpredicted. If I can show that I have enough vampire counts flexibility to pull off a build like this and win with it, it means that he can't counter me anymore, right? If I always go the same playstyle, we're gonna get countered. And because I I almost always go for the Mantide style. He's gonna predict that. And he's gonna go the usual build. And you know what? The counterpicker gets counterpicked, son. I got Storm of Night. I got the Cav squad. Malekith does not have enough magic damage to kill off my ghosties over here. So this should be good. Oh, there's no escape, bro. There ain't no escape. Hallelujah. A good start. We got the Storm of Night all over his face. I suppose he's gonna get some mobility in here in a second. Is Malekith winning this? Well, Malekith doesn't heal as much as this guy, right? Wait, what's the stat difference, bro? Okay, Malekith actually does have a bit of that stat difference. It's okay. I'll make use of the heal and then we're good. He's gonna summon some Cold One Knights, as expected. So I'm gonna summon in the Hex Wraiths, and then they're gonna mulch him. It'll be perfect. Gonna dodge that breath attack and land a hit on good old Malekith. And we're gonna get ready for the big push. So I got the charge bonus, just super important. I'm gonna get in a bunch more Cav in here in a second. We're just kind of trading right now. No need to be too aggro here. I can keep pumping the heals. He'll be okay. I just need to get a good enough breath attack and we're fine. Hopefully, maybe he doesn't see this coming. Because he thinks I'm trying to charge Malekith or something. Dang it. Alright, so we both dodged it. We both dodged the breath attack. I'm gonna get more Karen Wraiths though. Gonna get more Karen Wraiths, so we're gonna do some of this stuff. Gonna start pulling in the air. We're gonna get some Hex Wraiths. I do have another Storm of Night soon, by the by. That'll definitely be quite difficult to deal with. Gonna chuck out a spell. Biffs it. Hell yeah. Okay. And let the fighting begin. He doesn't have the mobility to save everything, right? He can't use them to protect his boys and also handle all this stuff. No breath attacks for you today, good sir. Very nice. Okay, solid Cav charge over there. That's a route, huge. And we're just gonna get in here. Karen Wraiths are insane, actually. For anyone who has not used the unit, Maximilianer showed me the other day that they are actually kind of sick. They're fast, they slow you down. They're great if your opponent's trying to kite you, which is what we thought good old Danakan would be doing this day. You see, they're just shredding the cavalry, right? Just absolute shreddination. He gets a little bit of a spell cast, but it ain't a big deal. We've already killed off most of his infantry. I just need to get the Karen Wraiths in here. Gonna summon some zombos to help out. There we go. And his Cold One Knights are now super stuck in this fight. Malekith can't really participate. He can't kill my boys. And just like that, double Cav max, man. You never saw it coming, man. He never saw it coming. He knows I want to get the breath attack though. Danakan's a good player still. And we can't throw the match, that's for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a decent breath attack, I'll take it. Doomfire Warlocks are not gonna be able to win this though, that's for sure. Just gonna go ahead and land over here. And yeah, this is like the Maximilianer style, man. Maximilianer really showed me that this is just a terrifying thing. Just a million Karen Wraiths charging at you. Your whole army's slowed and terrified. He's gonna get another 6 Soul Stealer, but it ain't gonna be enough. Just gonna chase down Malekith over here and make sure the guy does not escape if we can at all prevent it. Gonna slow him down again. There you go. So now he's slowed, and he shall die soon enough. Dang. Crazy best of 3. Crazy best of 3. I still got it. That was decisive. But yeah, you just have to not play your typical style every single game. The mix-ups, The mix-ups is where it's at, man. A lot of people are too scared to do this, and then you become very predictable. But yeah, dude, Maximilian with the Karen rates, man. Yeah, mega mind games. Mega mind games. So he's just never going to play that matchup again. Oh, hey, Renataki, what's up? What's up, man? I'm sending the replays right now. Warhammer League. Replays. Hell yeah. Let's see here. Well, I don't want the stream to be super short. I guess I'll just sign up for the tournament that I had already going. And then we'll just play a tournament. I wanted to play some Lizardmen today, so that's the goal. Let's see here. Replays. Warhammer League. And those were our 2 matches for Danakan. Now, I don't think like I out micro Danakan, but we definitely out macro Danakan. We just used some sick mind games. Although there was the one misplay with the Empire game, but it's a little bit of a shame that it's only a best of 3 and we can't play more games against them. Dang, though, I super hard counted this build, though. 5 Corsairs into Cav Max Karen rates is like the worst possible situation, and it was still kind of stressful. We had the perfect counter to Cold One Knights, though. Karen rates are honestly insane. I swear, Maximilian said they sucked before. I swear Maximilian said they sucked. Just so that just so that people wouldn't run them. Okay, nah, I think it's just undiscovered tech. But I swear they're actually insane. If you compare them to Sirens, the difference is immense. So look at the stat difference. If you look at these guys and then you compare them to Sirens, Sirens have 12 less damage, 8 less melee attack, and less charge bonus. Now, Sirens do have the minus melee attack thing, but these guys have Frostbite, bro. They're 850 gold, terror-causing Frostbite, full AP, great stat line, great charge. Like, they just kill everything they charge. Actually, one of the most insane units. And weirdly enough, if people keep running this, Burning Heads, or I mean Flaming Sword's gonna become more popular. You guys can finish up on Sunday. Yeah, I'll see if I can finish my matches then. At least I will do my best. Egg is having some PC troubles. He'll be trying to fix by Saturday, so you guys can finish up, okay? Sunday it is. I shall do my best. I am slightly busy this weekend, but maybe I can bring a laptop to where I'm going. Anyways, we just need to wait for our opponent to message back. We just need them to message back and then we can get started on our matches. Your Silver Helm build is such a beaut. I've been trying to copy it. Oh, it's honestly, I don't think it's a perfect build. On big maps, yeah, I think you can get it working. But it is actually, I don't think it's fully refined either. Like, I think Silver Helm maxing, it needs to have an Eltharion in there to be your main fighter. Otherwise, your cavalry lose to single entities. You can still run the double Ruster, though. Double Plague of Rust, you have Apotheosis on this guy. So that's all great. But yeah, like, I think something like this is close-ish to what you would want to do. You don't have that much cavalry, but Eltharion's insane. He can just land in a mosh pit and not care. Tang though, dude, that was crazy. We got Danakan, guys. To the finals we go. I will say I did get some premium matchups though. I got to play Slaanesh and Vampire accounts versus Empire Dark Elves. Who's the ultimate opponent? Is it Professor Pone? Well, we just beat them. What if I'm the ultimate opponent? POV Danakan. Oh, man. The only reason I won that, though, is because I lost to him before. So I know his build. And usually, people aren't going to, like, counterpick with the 2. Anyways, here's our opponent. So I am playing Lizardmen. So we did have the thumbnail earlier, which was basically I just want to skink max every game and just kind of see how good it is, because honestly it seems kind of insane. Like, obviously we all know skink maxing man-tied shenanigans is good, but every time I try it, it just seems like really solid. So yeah, this one should be fun. This one should be fun. We're up against Skaven. They're not a very big deal. Honestly, I just kind of want to skink max it. I want to, like, ultra skink max the whole game. Because maybe it's actually crazy good. I guess we'll have to see. Do you skink max with Stegodon support? Or do you go Bastillodons? Why not both? And then, yeah, I could take one of these just in case. Ooh, and then Croxagors? Oh my gosh. Alright, yeah, sick build. Sick build indeed. But yeah, we're just playing the tournament now. My wee little tournament. I'm gonna have to win 3 games in like 45 minutes though if we want to make it. But if I just win 3 games in a row, I should be fine. I updated the bot, by the way. So it should automatically detect the top 4. That'll be quite nice. Sad again. Oof. Yeah, yo, oh man, dude, honestly, I want to play another best of 3 against him now. Just because I want to see what he techs against my tech, right? Like, obviously that was just like a knowledge thing, you know? It's like you win one rock, paper, scissors game. That's not exciting. You want to see who gets into the mind games. What if Danakan just destroys me the next time I meet him, though? The thing is, the only way, so like, if we're talking game theory terms, the best thing I can do is roll a die to determine my vampire counts build. So next time, like, the thing is, Danakan's probably not going to roll a 50-50, but if he does choose to face vampire counts, it means he has a build that will beat the mobility build. And the best thing I can do is flip a coin and figure out, or roll a die, and then just stick with that build. Now there's a chance Danakan gets lucky and I RNG my way into the build he counters. But like, let's say he has 2 hard counter builds, right? So he has Corsair Kite to beat Mantide, and then he has his other thing, you know, Spear Max or whatever, to beat the Mobility Max. Although I will say Karen Wraiths are kind of insane. Karen Wraiths? The threat of Karen Wraiths is already immense. Which means realistically, all I really need is a 3rd build. If I can get a 3rd build, like 3 builds, and he can only choose 1 to counter, I get a 66% win rate in the matchup. Which I think is great. I think that's solid. Possibly more, as long as there's a chance we can win the other games. Yeah, super cheap terror is great. It's crazy, man. I thought Karen Wraiths were garbage, but technically on the charge. Wait, Karen Wraiths have 44 damage, right? On the charge, they get plus 30. Is that how they killed the Corsair so quickly? On the charge, they hit for 74 damage, so they're actually killing entities. Which is very important, because if the entity's left at 1 HP, you're gonna need a whole nother hit to kill them. So you can probably use Karen Wraiths with their charge to just kill everything, right? You mix in Karen Wraiths and charging to just one-shot infantry. Hell, you can cycle charge with them. If they're gonna one-shot infantry, that's like insane, right? Most of the time, it's gonna take at least a couple hits. I'll have to investigate that more. Now, magic. Obviously, magic attacks will mulch your Karen rates, but they can always fall back to zombies, right? Arc of Sotek support. I wanted to, but it's Skaven. Arc of Sotek won't do that much. Make him show a real counter to the raids first. I think Danakan, they will spend a lot of time trying to counter the raids. They'll have to tech so hard into it that I think they'll look at the build and be like, this loses to literally everything else. If Anticity doesn't bring raids, I'm screwed, right? And that'll dissuade them from wanting to play that matchup ever again. At least that's the goal. Not sure if I even need a guy in a dragon, since Malekith doesn't really die regardless. So the dragon guy is less about... He's less about, you know, killing Malekith and more keeping him modest. Oh, his PC blew up. We'll send the builds over. Ikit Claw, interesting. Mantide v Mantide. But yeah, it's less about killing Malekith and just keeping him modest. Because technically Malekith could just dive bomb my cavalry at the start and then life just sucks. We don't really want that. But yeah, like the breath attacks too. I can't let him just set up breath attacks for free. But I don't think we need the guy in the dragon. Honestly, Storm of Night and put him on a horse is not bad either. I would get an extra Karen rate for my troubles. Does that really solve everything though? I don't know. When you bring like 3 Doomfire Warlocks, like you can bring like 1,100 gold low armor cavalry versus zombie faction versus Skelly Spear faction. I think that would be... It's honestly not the worst thing in the world, but it probably sets him back too much to win versus other builds. Unless his micro is just exquisite. To the point where his Doomfire Warlocks can uptrade into all my stuff. But from what I can tell, even if, like, so let's say the Doomfire Warlocks charges a unit of Karen rates and they kill them. They're still going to be slowed, right? And Karen rates have magic damage, so they both do true damage to each other. The Karen race, in theory, 2-shot the cavalry. And if I bring in one more cav unit and he loses a Doomfire Warlock for a Karen rate, he's just losing. He's just down. So they need to pull a lot of weight, which I think just puts them in a terrible position. But here's the thing, we don't know until we face Danakan. Like, there's a lot of ideas. And I'm happy that we put him on the back foot. Danakan's gonna have to figure out what in the world he's gonna do against that next time. Thank goodness we are good at stealing builds from Maximilian there. Dude, Maximilian, the only reason I can play vampire counts is because they just steal his playstyles. It's great. I basically have a guy just 24/7 cooking up the best vampire counts builds in existence. And as long as I keep hosting tournaments in his time zone, we're good. It's perfect. But yeah, I think if I took like 5 Karen rates though and I didn't have zombie support, then the Doomfire Warlocks would start getting out of hand. But as long as we have a couple Black Knights and such, I'm pretty sure they don't do well versus them. Black Knights don't have magic attacks anymore, right? I remember one time CA gave like half of the vampire counts roster magic attacks. I'm pretty sure they reverted that because they realized indeed vampire counts is too strong. So we won't be able to make use of that, sadly. But all right, I gotta win these next matches very quickly if we want to make it to semifinals. I gotta win this one, the next one, and the next one in about 45 minutes. So time is of the essence, and a warp lightning cannon has already begun shelling me. Now that's not the end of the world. I have many an option to deal with that. We have good old Crocky G over here, ready to get some work done. I think I'll just go for a simple flank. Maybe use some feral cold ones. As long as the warp lightning cannon doesn't get too much damage in, I'm happy. Now he's gonna block this Hand of the Gods for Ikiclaw using the Rat Ogres. Looks like he's trying to. Ooh, whiffs it though. Absolutely whiffs it. That's rough. I think he was actually trying to block the Hand of the Gods, but missing that is putting him in a very bad situation. The artillery piece is not really hurting me very much, so I don't really have to die to get the fighting going. The counter to artillery is patience. It is but simple patience. Because what's it gonna do? Hit some trees? Yeah, that's not too scary. Fastillodon time to get in here. We're just gonna keep drawing him into a rough situation. Gonna split Versa Flensing. It's only gonna hit one unit. Perfect. Good splitties. Good splitties. That's the StarCraft 2 player in me. The StarCraft 2 Grandmaster. Tournament level. Cyril defeating StarCraft player. Let's see here. Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, he's getting mulched. His lines are not doing very well. I don't even need to worry about the artillery piece. He's sending too many units to try and defend it. Ikiclaw's getting in here. I do have to be wary of the Globadiers, though. As long as we keep up the kite, I'm kind of happy. Look at these guys. Yeah, look at them go. You can get some feral cold ones into the backfield. And we can just start kiting out those plague monks. That's fine. Ikiclaw's getting massacred. That's good. Some Globadiers are in, though. Gotta be super wary of them. Globadiers can always ruin your day. So it's important that you do not get caught out by them. If Ikiclaw dies, though, I think we've already gotten a lot of work done, though. Just gonna charge them doggos. We're going to get more skinks. Then we're gonna rush down the Globadiers and hopefully get them killed. Skinks are surprisingly good in combat, I found. Oof, there goes Ikit. But yeah, so as long as I just kind of get into melee with them, they should be able to do pretty well. At least that's the idea. We'll see if they get mulched by the Rat Ogres. But generally speaking, I find the things that's worse for them is all the cavalry and such. But Skaven don't really have that, so I think we're good. Let's do another Flock of Doom. Shut them down. We're gonna take back this point very quickly. You can see the Rat Ogres actually do a lot of damage to Skinks. That's good to know. But they're gonna take a lot of damage back. So maybe not a free trade for my opponent here. And even though there is still artillery, it's not really doing that much, is it? He also just lost his Lord, which means, indeed, army loss penalty is going to be active. And the Skink Tide does well. Skink Tide is pretty good, actually. He actually has to kill like 2 units of Skinks for his Globadiers to get value. That's a lot. It's a lot of Skinks to work through. They're just, yeah. They're just cheap. They got lots of deeps. They can kite you. They can steal points very well. They're like it's like a fast Vampire Coast in a sense. Almost. Although this is Skaven, right? It's not like we are breaking the meta by defeating Skaven. We will have to stress test this build later against other players. But so far, so good. Ooh, is that a sick Flock of Doom on a bunch of Plague Monks? Hell yeah. Poor Plague Monks, man. I swear, they deserve better. But unfortunately, they kind of garbo. I don't know why they cost 650. That's like almost a unit of Forsaken. Like, I know Skaven's supposed to have bad infantry, but dang. You love the Skaven versus Lizardman match? You know, it used to be quite Skaven favored back in the day. but that was in the before times. That was in the before times. All right. Man, dude, if Tuhenuin was meta, though, that would be great. That'd be like if Greasus was meta. All right, but yeah, with this game done, I just have to set myself up for the last one. If we win the next game in 40 minutes and then face another opponent, we're in a great position to make it to the semifinals. Which means I can both defeat Danakan and qualify for the semifinals in one go. That would be truly a good day for me. We learn how to play Lizardmen. That adds another faction to my roster of factions. Oh dang, I couldn't save it in time. I typed in the wrong thing. It's fine. We don't need the replay. Yeah, artillery pieces. They take too long to get value. Yo. I'm Lizardman. We're up against Berserk. Oh boy, talk about a tough opponent. I'm playing Lizardman. And Berserk is playing the counter pick. Oof. Alright. This will be interesting. This will be very interesting then. So far it seems pretty oppressive though. Just dealing with a million skinks. As long as you micro them well, they can play keep away. They got the speed. 46 speed. That's a man-tide action. It's great. Berserk next opponent, I mentioned Greasus. True, Berserk is a Greasus player. I hope we don't get greased. This should be good versus the Noblar Tide though, right? Skinks have really good. Actually, no, the stats are not that good. How did Skinks do so well? Is it the primal instincts? Is it the extra melee attack when they get tired? Is it the poison? I feel like these guys trade so well. Am I crazy? How did they compare it to like Norskin Marauder? Norskin Marauders have more HP. Yeah, they have fewer entities. Do the skinks like stack up? Do you have more entities actually attacking when the fight gets going? Is that what does it? I will say they're fast. That much is great. You can have them cause fear if there's a Croxicore around, which is really good for leadership. I don't know what it is about them. I guess it's the speed. They can always avoid fights that they don't like. What's the leadership? 55. Marauders are 60. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why they feel so good. It's probably just a 46 speed, ain't it? Well, let's let our opponent get in here. Okay, and he picks Skaven, Demons of Chaos, and Betonia. I'll play versus... Do I want to play versus Demons of Chaos as the Lizardmen? It sounds like a fun one. Rather than playing versus Skaven again. Sure, I'll play versus Demons of Chaos. Hell yeah. Berserk going for the random factions. I think they're trying to learn more factions. You have 500 speed Greasus. We can get 500 speed Greasus in my Everyone is Slanesh mod. That mod literally just adds... It sets everyone's speed to 500 except for you. This is the one that Trizik's working on. You can see him in chat. But yeah, Demons of Chaos. This should be interesting. They can sometimes be a little bit annoying. What is the problem, one might say? What do Demons of Chaos bring to the table that give you pause? Well, I think the mobility. The mobility, maybe some weird flamethrower action, I don't know. There's just a lot of different things to account for. They can go full Nurgle, maybe. I don't know. Seekers are definitely one of the scarier things, though. They also have Furies, mind you. Furies can be quite annoying. Now, Ripperdactyls can beat Furies in a vacuum. And that doesn't really solve everything for me, does it? So we just have to be just a smidge careful. Just a wee bit. But I think I have my build. If I can beat them in 35 minutes, we make it to semis. If we lose, we're probably not going to make it. Fast infantry is one of your core wants when you're picking a faction. So you would like Slanesh, you would like Beastmen, you would like Lizardmen. Let's see, who else has very fast infantry? We're talking like the 40 speed range. Surely there's more. Surely there's more. I guess like Chaos does have Forsaken. Like all factions with Forsaken can do it. Technically, Nurgle has faster infantry than Empire. Pestigores and Forsaken, my dude, have you considered the Grand Nurgle speed infantry strat? You didn't say nothing about fast cavalry. It's honestly, you know, if you just take the Nurgle infantry and you add them to another faction, they're pretty good. The thing that holds Nurgle back is their mobility sucks. Their infantry is amazing. Skaven? Oh yeah, Skaven are pretty fast. Their skirmishers can outkite cavalry in some instances. It's great. Man, I still can't believe we did so well versus Danakan today. I thought it was going to be a longer day. I thought we were going to have like 12-minute matches. 16-minute matches, but no, we just won. We just got him. I'm so excited to see what he cooks up next, though. Guy's the menace. Have you considered playing in one of Turn's modded faction tournaments? I have, but I've just been too busy. And, like, I just don't have the time to do the deep dive into that. I just don't have the time. Clearly dwarves are fast. If you use Rune of Speed. You use Rune of Speed dwarves on Slayers. They are fast for about 18 seconds. You can stack Runes of Speed if you overcast and normal cast. That one's pretty fun. But yeah, I would love to play in Turn's modded tournaments, but I am just so bogged down recently. Give me like about a month. About a month from now, I'll be ready to go, and hopefully we have some DLCs on the horizon. CA can start teasing. Yeah, he's doing it more regularly. It's kind of fun. I see him like adding bans on the go because people are figuring out things that are extremely OP. Sounds like a great time. Exploring new metas is always very fun. I guess 10 units, that means the average cost of the units that they bought is 1,000 gold. Because you start with a 9,000 gold for your army. So if I had to guess, it's probably going to be a Noxbringer and then a bunch of 800 gold stuff. That would be my prediction. But I guess we'll see. Got some Nurglings, we got some Fury, some Shrieking Sky Rays, okay. Caress, the Darkling Prince. Holy, we got some Pavane action. We got some doggos. Okay, so this is big mobility. This is very big mobility, and we must treat it appropriately. So how does one deal with this? I think the Boxagors are not bad. I can start getting some Croxagors going. I think we actually just want to back up immediately. Maybe get a tiny barrage, but I don't want to fight this without the Croxagors. That seems like a terrible idea. If I can kill a Fury here, that'd be great. Gotta protect this core first, though. First and foremost, can't let them die. Furies are kind of suffering, though. Okay, and he's just gonna shrieking sky ray me. That's okay. I can live with that. Honestly, I'm blobbing up quite aggressively here. Let's just brace for the doggos. Let's do a little bit of a pull through here. And we're gonna get yeah, I'll get some Ripperdactyls just to kill the Furies. That should be fine. Doggo should go down pretty hard. Ripperdactyls should do quite well here. I'm just gonna focus on this fight on the far side, because this is a little too scary to face right now. I don't want to give them that downhill charge, right? I'm even gonna turn on skirmish mode just to make sure we stay alive. Doggo's here. Can they kill a bunch of skinks? I guess we'll see. See if we can scoot a little bit closer. And once I have Croxagores in the area, life will be much better. Yeah, you can see he's thinking about it. He wants to go for some sort of engagement, but he hasn't committed yet. Caress is here. That'll be quite interesting. How do you want to do that? What do you plan, good sir? Well, seems like not too much. Now, if he manages to rout off all these skinks, that'd be disastrous. And so far, leadership is actually faltering ever so slightly. So we must be a little bit careful. The fiends here are the biggest issue. And as you can see on this side, some of the Furies have actually gotten a little bit of work done. He's terror-routed the Ripperdactyls, most unfortunate. Yeah, but we are going to be able to catch the dogs. We are able to destroy some of the fools. Gonna get a little bit of Flock of Doom here, just for a little bit of hokey poke action. Nothing too crazy though. Just gonna make this rotation over here. As long as we don't get flanked too hard, as long as it doesn't do too much damage, I'll be okay. That was quite a bit though. I don't know if I like that engagement. The skinks are in, and they are pushing forwards. They should be able to get a lot of value. And I can take back points quite quickly, but value trading wise, not exactly the best. I certainly have a lot of skinks here. Man, do I wish I had some Croxagores in this area too. And those are flamers. Okay. Got some flamers of Tzeentch coming in. All right. That's not the end of the world, though. We'll live. We have a lot of boys here, just shooting them up. Do I want the feral cold ones? I think so. We'll just chuck them out. Flamers are an interesting choice. We'll see if they actually do well. I must say this Demons of Chaos play is quite terrifying. Oh, Krog-Gar actually overextending slightly. You'll definitely need to book it. And okay, we are going to at least get a few skinks rallying, so that's good. Krog-Gar though. Krog-Gar, no. Crocky J, no. Gonna do his best. Gonna do his best escape maneuver. And just like that, he gives them the slip through. Very nice. We should be able to take this point quite quickly. Very nice. And in the long grind, we know the skinks are good. Honestly, I think we're starting to pull it back. Value trading says we are. So that's good. I have the most capture weight the world has ever seen. That's going to help us out a lot. And over on this side. Yeah, just the infinite skink tide. You know, the usual. Infinity skinks. Can they deal with it? So far, it seems like not really. I don't think he'll be able to capture this point back anytime soon. Ooh, okay, never mind. There's a mass route. Okay, so he can deal with the infinity skinks. Some of them routing off in inconvenient locations. Thankfully, they cannot catch them all. We are going to get some pretty decent value over here, and what I really need is just Croxagore support so they are immune to fear. If I can do that, we'll be okay. I still have all my skirms here too. If I can catch out these fiends, that'd be perfect. Should be able to catch the flamers on the hill too. And yeah, there's the rally. Okay, I think with the Croxagores, we'll be able to stabilize the situation ever so slightly. Though I will say my opponent's making this quite scary indeed. Though killing off these flamers is a perfect turn of events for me. And the Croxagores will be nigh unkillable. On top of all the skinks rallying. That's pretty good. We got a triple cap going too. And this point ain't falling anytime soon. Love to see it. Crocky G just chilling. How's this fight going? He has Caress in there. Good old Caress. Just chilling. I know I do not like that very much. Okay. This is still good though. Interesting. Plague Toads? Alright. There's some Plague Toad action on the far side that I'll have to manage. Croxagores are doing good though. And I outnumber my opponent quite intensely. Yeah, here we go. Dang, flamethrowers are still alive though. Okay, well that's impressive. I guess his goal was to try and save them. That's gonna let them get a lot of work done on my Boxagores here. And if they rout, then we're super screwed. So I have to be quite careful actually. Very much so, my opponent could begin coming back in this fight if I'm not careful. Of course, they have a lot of starting tickets just based on the early game being a little disadvantage for me. Skinks to keep rallying though. At least they have that going for them. But I don't really like what the direction that the fight is going in right now. These flamethrowers are actually getting way too much damage. We're gonna lose our Croxagores too. Oof. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh no, I don't think we're winning this, guys. I don't know if the lizardmen are gonna be able to cook for us. Alright, we'll fight the toads. Shoot them up. Hopefully kill off some of these guys and take the point at the same time. If I can hold on to capture points for a long time, that's still good, but the Caress over here is actually such a good anchor piece. He's been doing great. Slightly terrifying, but not the end of the world just yet. We still have a lot of game left to go here. Okay, here we go. Shooty skinks. Gotta steal the point. Boxagores are doing great. Oof, man, do that mass route though. The skinks fared okay, but that's still gonna put us on the back foot. I probably should have disengaged when Caress flew over. I'll live, but it ain't too pretty. This is some good picks though. Already a decent amount of damage. Can we kill some of these Furies maybe? No, I think they're all flying, sadly. What I can do though is I can use my skinks to threaten points and such. We do win on a 2-cap too. That's pretty nice. Oh crap, those Changebringers. Run! Oh boy, that's scary. Okay, Changebringers are a menace. We must kite him out. Oh, and he rampaged, my poor guy. And he's rampaged onto the flying unit. I thought they patched that. No, he landed for him. I see. Oh, that's gonna make life a little sketchy. A lot of my units rally though. They'll be able to get back over here. And we're gonna do a lot of damage to the Changebringers too. If he kills Krokgar, that would be pretty bad though. So I need to focus on killing off these guys. Getting in all the DPS we can. And hopefully my dude lives. Krokgar is nasty, but he does terror out. Unfortunate. Now I still have the double cap though, and I do have potentially this point over here that we can take. Krokgar will be gone though. Oof, and that's actually a big route. We got a lot of damage on the Changebringers, but the fact that they're still alive is definitely a problem. And a big one at that too. We're gonna lose our lord here. There he goes, he's shattered. Oh, absolute brutality. Dude, he's been getting a lot of work done with these here little dudes, with these flamethrower units. He's been getting a lot of work done with just a few flamethrowers. I must say, I am impressed. If I can make it difficult to re-secure points though, I still have a chance, as lizardmen are very good at that. Jeez, flamethrowers. They just keep living. Keep routing off my poor guys. Don't you dare route. Don't you dare route, you darn skinks. Get the charge animation going. Stabilize thy leadership. I have decreed it. Okay, Changebringers are coming in. Do I have some... Okay, I have some flyers. Okay. We're gonna try and make use of that. Oh, man, dude. Berserk, though. Berserk, the true terror. Oh, we're not losing this point just yet, at least. I don't know if my flyers will be able to get here in time. But at least we're gonna be able to kill these guys off. Dude, the fiends are still alive, though? Oh, my goodness. What a disaster situation. Ticket-wise, though, it's still kind of close. Oh, bro, he keeps routing everything. Here I thought my skinks were unbreakable. Seems like I was sorely mistaken. Okay, we are going to get at least a couple flyers on them, though. And we are going to jump the flamers yet again. These Nurglings, though, if they escort my guys off the map, that's not good. Oh, my Ripperdactyls being dragged through the mud. They're gonna get rampaged. I need them to stick onto these guys. Or for the rampage to be removed by focused instincts. Come on, come on. We can resummon Krotgar too to stabilize the leadership situation. Oof. Okay, they should be able to get there. And some of my units rally. Dang, dude, the flamethrowers just can't get caught. They're just not getting caught, though. Okay, let's get Krotgar back. I don't have a lot of time left, though. I think we lost this one. I think we lost this one. GG. GG, well played. Oof. Oof. Alright. Alright, so the skink maxing does... It does bleed to the mobility. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Caress was a menace. I was kind of hoping that just the high skirmish potential would do it, but they also played the terrain very well. The Shrieking Sky Rays were obviously amazing. But the flamethrowers were the real menaces. Yeah, there was no way I could have pulled it back. One Krotgar would already be too difficult. So I'm up against Azek. Yo, yo! Alright, gonna have to kick you berserk for my next opponent. If I can beat them very quickly, that would be great. Because then maybe I can win another game and still have a chance. They're playing Dark Elves. They are playing Dark Elves, so not too bad. Need an anchor. Well, I was hoping the Croxagores would be good enough anchors, but sadly they did not do super great. Alright, map is more. Okay. Alright, Decrepit Moor is pretty good if he's playing Dark Elves. So we found that the Feral Cold ones were lacking a bit in terms of shutting stuff down. They're much better defensively, but yeah, not exactly the premium shutdown squad. We might want to put Krotgar on Grimlock too. Just a big old dino mount. Yeah. I think this should do. What else do I want? What magic did Caress Spring? I think he just brought Pavane. I believe it was just a simple Pavane that done did it. Ooh, man. Honestly, it's kind of sus. I might just want to have Salamanders in the back pocket. I'm pretty sure if I had a Salamander unit, we'd be okay. Though with Pavane plus Furies, Salamanders would be quite hard to defend. And I think I was playing too wide. Usually I'm the faster faction. But there, not really. Because of all the fiends and such. But if I can beat Azek in 15 minutes and then win the next one, I think we might have a chance to still make it. Though the odds are lower now. Yeah, I have to win this next one in less than 15 minutes. Okay. Alright, speedrun time. Speedrun versus the Dark Elves. Can it be done? If you don't make it, it's fine. We joined the tournament late. A Sacred Croxagore hero? Ooh, that'd be sick. Yeah, Dark Elves, they got their cavalry, they got their Medusas. I'm thinking maybe I can just play keep away though. Man, dude, those sky rays though. Sky rays were a menace. What if I played more campy and just ran like a solar engine? Maybe not on that map though. That map was actually kind of a menace. That map's really good for like the mobile Strider factions, Beastmen, Slanesh, Chaos. Alright, come on, Azek. Come on. Time is of the essence. The skinks were not the worst though. I think they just needed a little bit of support. I think like one salamander probably does it. What if I use... Like I could use cold one knights, but I don't think they're perfect. They're kind of expensive and they die really easily. Wonder what happens if I just lean into the kite a bit more. Just sit back, relax. It's true, solar engines with the blinded effect. Solar engines have a really high skill potential, that's for sure. Okay, we still have 14 minutes in the tournament. So as long as this match isn't a super long one, I think I'll be okay. Let's take a look at the bracket. So Berserk is number 1. Surmiz is number 2 right now. Danakan's number 3. Danakan also joined the tournament after our best of 3. Look at this guy. Be great if we face Danakan again, but I don't know if I can beat him with my lizards. We'll see. Alright, 2 in a row, people. I need to win 2 in a row, and then we will have a chance. We'll have an opportunity to maybe make it. I didn't lose too much MMR because Berserk was already so high MMR. We thankfully upmatched. So fingers crossed this one goes well. He's coming for you. That'd be some sweet vengeance. Danakan knocks us out of top 4. In worst case, we get to watch some Danakan games. But anyways, this map should be much better. So this match is about as wide as my line is. And it's wide and flat for my skirmishers to get a lot of value. That's the plan. We keep them alive, we're good. And I think I need to tell myself at the beginning of the match if my opponent is more mobile than me. If they're more mobile, I should not try my hand at going too wide. This army is fast, but it's not faster than everything by default. So some care and caution is needed. All right, ready? Good luck, have fun. All right, let's do it. Just a wide line of skinks. Nothing to see here. Let the speed running commence. I still currently have 12 minutes. We're hoping for a 9-minute game here. I need to win this one so decisively. Bring down the warm bloods. They're all the same to us. He's taking his time with the deployment. It's fine. We still have time. Oh, yeah, about 12 minutes. Let's say 11 minutes for when we start. Okay, there we go. Let's do it. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to have to play slightly more risky, but that's just life. Indeed, the double Medusa. Oh boy. Krokgar is going to have his work cut out for him, but Hand of the Gods is good here. The Skink Skirmishers are very good. We're just going to focus on our core essentials and maybe get some Umbral Tide going. Has a Lokir Fellheart. Okay. But yeah, pretty sure if I just get a good enough Hand of the Gods, we'll be okay. Okay, and then we're gonna see if we can draw him into a bad situation. Now, one Medusa's running. So we're gonna hand to the gods this one instead. In theory, you can't really dodge it. It's quite homing. But we'll see. Beautiful. Hand to the gods. Getting the big hits in. I'm just gonna pull back. So I want to goad my opponent into a bad position. This won't let me capture this point sooner technically, but it does let me kill his army faster potentially if we can just take one very good fight. So that's kind of what I'm working my way towards here. I do have the Umbral Tide now. You'll notice they don't have a lot of infantry, which is very important for this. Medusa doesn't do that much to Krokgar. Krokgar is quite the menace. And I can potentially overwhelm my opponent's lines here. Krokgar can just disrupt one Medusa, while the Umbral Tide disrupts the other one. That should do quite well. There you go. Umbral Tide is in. And they should be able to do quite a bit of damage. As long as I don't just concede these points, I'm pretty happy. Medusa's going in for the shot. We pull away. Bring in more infantry. And I'm just here to kind of overwhelm them. Just kind of overwhelm them. Okay, so far so good. Krokgar can definitely get in here. He's actually clobbering Lokir, which is kind of funny. Because Lokir is apparently the duelist. Not today, good sir. Krokgar is too much of a menace. Very nice. And he's just going to keep hunting that Medusa. Until they can get support, Krokgar is just going to be very good here. It's going to take a little bit of a Doom Bolt. Kind of painful, but he gets a little nibble on that Medusa again. Very nice. Umbral Tide are doing okay, but the fighting is slightly less than effective. I think Krokgar is taking a bit too much damage now. He's gonna boost his leadership just a smidge here. And he's gonna get that disengage. That should keep him relatively safe. We do have a triple cap going now. The Krokgar has to be a little careful. If he dies again, that would be most unfortunate. Just gotta make sure that doesn't happen. A little bit of a dodge, keeping him up. And then I'm gonna use him to bully some infantry. That's just kind of much safer play. We'll keep him out of harm's way. And we're just gonna keep spamming skinks, I think. I think that's what we want to do. If I keep chucking out skinks up the wazoo, it'll be quite difficult for them to re-secure points, and maybe we just win via tickets. Even if the trading does not go perfectly, it ain't too bad. There you go, we have disrupted most of these guys. Just gotta make sure that charge of cavalry doesn't do too much damage. But the center line is doing okay. A couple skinks have taken a bit of damage. But overall, we're only down trading slightly. And on a triple cap, that's not a bad place to be. It's not the best place, but it's also not terrible. It's not great, not terrible. I should be able to kill off the range, though. That's really good. And because he used Blade Wind, he won't have too many little Doom Bolt actions on Krokgar. I can bully that little Medusa over there a bit more. That'd be nice, and probably get some nice rear charges here too. Definitely some nice rear charges, actually. Very nice. Okay, and Krokgar is gonna have to retire soon because he's been taking a little bit too much of a beating. Other than that, though, it ain't too bad. Let's do this. Remove the rampage effect. We're still just gonna make it very hard for him to re-secure any points, yeah. Just make it extremely, extremely difficult by constantly pushing back these more menacing elements. Like the Medusas and such. Gonna de-summon this guy, actually. Just keep summoning in the boys. And just keep backing up. It's a weird game right now. I think this hinges on me actually getting this point secured, which is not great for me. I will be able to get a pretty decent flock of doomage here, though. And Krokgar is thankfully still alive. Okay. But he will be able to re-secure 1 point very soon. And that means this game's probably going to last a bit longer. We might not finish this one in time. If we don't, that's okay. But yeah, this kind of seems like the game is going to go and be a bit of a long one. I don't know how I feel about that. We might even lose if things go badly enough. But so far, it's not the end of the world. I can brace for that cav charge. There we go. We gotta use the Umbral Tide to maybe kill a Medusa. And we're hopefully gonna be able to steal this point back very soon. If I can steal a point, I think we have a chance. Some big routes though. Unfortunate. Oh, thankfully, I think that only hit me with the splash damage. That's perfect. Okay, okay. Very nice. Humble Tide need to run for their lives. Okay, but here's the thing. If I get this point, it'd be so bad for him. I just gotta get that ticket victory, right? I just need that there ticket victory. Krokgar is just gonna run for his life a little bit. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, alright. Ticket victory incoming so far. Not bad at all. Krokgar should be able to live. Okay. And we're just gonna make sure he doesn't take this, but getting this point is huge. That sets us up pretty well. And my feral cold ones are just being a menace. Krokgar does manage to survive. Hey, alright. Now I just need to wrap this up. So we have the win, but will it be enough is the big question. Just because we have the win doesn't mean we have enough MMR to actually close everything out. Okay, I think those coursers are gonna route soon. But yeah, he doesn't have enough time. This is kind of the entire playstyle of this build, by the way. It's just using a million skinks to just stall for 50 years. Okay, we got some mass over there, so they should be fine. Yeah, it's just holding this point. So I just gotta grab on and never let go for the next couple minutes. Nasty match, though. You can see he's desperately trying to re-secure the point, but everything's a little too expensive, ain't it? Just a smidge. This route, though, will definitely help him out, though. Krokgar, at least, is still alive. Hey, very nice. We'll just leave him on home defense. And you know what? I can lose this point, and it's not the end of the world. I think that's totally fine. Yeah, he's finally gonna get this, but if they can't take the other ones, we're good. And they're gonna lose a Medusa. So I think we're fine. This is kind of fun. It's like a trade build versus a ticket build. You got some nice asymmetry over there. Bleak swords will definitely die. But yeah, I can obviously hold a single cap for the rest of the game. The question is whether or not we can find another match soon enough. There's only 3 minutes left to find the last match, so clock's ticking. I need to hold. I can hold the double cap, and then I would have 30 seconds to find a match. Oh boy, that's gonna be a doozy. That's gonna be a doozy. Hopefully I can break my opponent's resolve, though. Break their resolve. Okay, Medusa's actually done for. I can chase her down with Krokgar if I really wanted to. That's pretty nice. But yeah, as long as we hold these points, we're good. Okay, yeah, there you go. Krokgar on the Medusa. Okay, so I should be able to secure that. Here comes the last push. Everything is coming on in to try and secure anything. That's what my opponent's doing. Krokgar still doing great. We got the Boxagors in here. If I capture this point, then they leave early. That's perfect. I still have 1 minute 40 seconds. That's not bad. We're speedrunning this one. We're speedrunning this one as hard as possible. Skink spam going hard, though. We routed off the Corsairs. So that means this point is now mine. I gotta give them no hope. It's the only way. Alright, here we go. Come on. Yes, we're getting the point. Oh, hell yeah. Now there's gonna be a nasty blade wind. I might be able to partial dodge it. Oh, hell yeah. There we go. Yes. Oh, hell yeah. All right. There's a chance, people. If I can queue into one more person and win that match, then we can make it. The double Medusa was not as scary as I thought it would be, but that's mostly because I was shutting them down with Crocker. Yeesh. All right. So hopefully someone finishes a match in the next 40 seconds. I am technically in third place though, but I only have 2 wins. And it's set up where I can't qualify without 3. So I think we're still not going to make it. Although, if not enough people have 3 wins, then we pick from the 2 wins pile. Oh man, dude, that was crazy though. Crocker very nearly died there. Those doom bolts are terrifying. If they got the Crocker kill or spent more time blade winding me, it would have done great. But because they split it, they were slightly ineffective across on all sides. Now time has run out, but we'll see. If not enough people get 3 wins, I might actually qualify anyways. The funny thing is we have 2 players that are winning so much, other people just can't get enough wins in. If Potatoes Devil wins though, and if I think Danakan might have more MMR than me. I think this hinges on Potatoes Devil winning. If Potatoes Devil doesn't win, then that's very good for us. Just give Berserk another win, and we're good. It's kind of interesting though. Bo3 did okay. I didn't do a perfect job at protecting them. Could have done a bit better there. And Berserk seems to be really grinding though. I've seen them playing in tons of tournaments. I'm a little terrified of what they might do. What's this? You can ride one of those? Oh, the cold one night looking at Crockar's Carnosaur. Oh man. Yeah, we're the true cold one riders. I like how they both just ride cold ones. Like the lizard men don't. They're not really like friendly allies. They're still just mounts. Bottom. Oh, are cold ones even? Are they just lizards or are they actually like lizard men? Does anyone know? Because I know skinks and Croxagores and Saurus are like part of the Lizardmen faction. But do cold ones come out of the birthing pools? 3-1? Oh, I guess we're 4-1 now. This is counting the games with Danakan though. So in the tournament we're 2-1. It's a little unfortunate. But yeah, so if a top 4, if we don't have enough wins on everyone, get a top 4 going, we can just give everyone +1 win, and then the bot will hopefully message everybody. They're just raptors? Okay. They're just normal lizards. I didn't know the Warhammer world just had normal dinosaurs. I guess the same is with like stegodons and such, right? The lower half of the birthing pool. No, I'm not asking if the dark elves have a birthing pool, though that would be hilarious. That's how they get the cold one nice. I assume they're just kidnapping them, right? But I don't think the dark elves could tame a lizard man. I guess that doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's just beasts. Cold ones are semi-domesticated because they have a bond with their riders. Oh, there's a difference between domesticated and what's it? Domesticated and trained, or what's the right word? There's like the thing where like the species is just naturally lined up to work well with you, and there's the other one where you can like, specific animals like elephants are not domesticated. Like leopards are not domesticated, but they can be tamed. Something along those lines. Cold ones just respect Saurus. Yeah, is it just tamed? Okay. Alright, so still waiting. Come on, I hope I have enough wins. Danakan, unfortunately, is only able to get 2 games in. Because the ladder portion was not long enough. Exual actually has 2 wins. Despite having very low MMR. I think they're just grinding a lot of games quite quickly. I'd love to play in the semis, though. I've seen Surzermiz, by the way, doing quite well lately. They've been really grinding. Quite a strong player, too. Quite strong. Would be cool to see Potato. If Potato's Devil beats Berserk, they definitely deserve to be in top 4. Danakan is still playing their match. It's a close one. Very close. So far, by the way, I would rate the Skink Tide like... I would rate it B tier. I think it is... It's not bad, like... You know, against the slower Cav factions. The cavalry is actually just too slow to kill all the skinks. But against fiends, not a chance, man. You ain't got a chance against fiends. That's just pain. The Thunderous one, it was meta in Warhammer 2, unfortunately. No more Thunderous ones. Where is it at? Engine of the Gods, here it is. The Thunderous one. Yeah. It's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's very cool. But the poor thing... The poor thing just don't really cook much anymore. Ever since the Shredder of Lustria came out, it's just outclassed it as the big fighter. Just a complete outclassing. Dang, the match, okay, wait, who's Pontum's Claw facing? Ponty is facing Surzermiz. Okay. Okay, there's a non-zero chance I make it then. Non-zero chance. Can I beat Berserk though? Like, even if I make it to semis, they're gonna be a beast, but it's always nice facing someone that defeated you again. So what I'm kind of hoping for is, at least what is expected to happen, is Potato's Devil loses to Berserk. Ponty loses to Surzermiz. Danakan wins their match. And then it's Surzermiz, Berserk, me, and Danakan that make it to the semifinals, the top 4. That's quite the lineup, isn't it? Danakan game is done. Ooh. Okay. Lizardman multiplayer is always a bit sad. We have a... That's true. They don't use monsters as much as they used to. Domination is actually quite skewed against monsters, because they tend to have counters, and in Domination you can very easily just summon in counters. The thing is, though, back in the day, it was actually the opposite. People hated the monster spam, but they also hated the main tide. They also hated the kite. They also, well, I think rush builds were the only build that was respected. If you A move into your opponent, that is the only time people will be okay with what you're doing. Otherwise, absolutely not. But yeah, we're just waiting on this last match to finish. So, top 4 right now is Berserk, Surzermiz, Danakan, and myself in MMR. If Ponty beats Surzermiz, I am knocked out. And Ponty will advance. Man-Tide Monster Kite. You should see my Kislev build. It doesn't have the Man-Tide though, dang it. Yeah, cheap SEs is rough because you can only bring 3 single entities. So like Lizardmen, you know, they used to bring double Stegodon. That was not bad. Double Stegodon, they were quite high DPS, but in domination they trade quite slowly. They're not bad though. It's just a relatively cheap disruption, big single entity. It's a lot to love. Come on, Sirs or Miz. You gotta win this one for me. Let me qualify. Well, you find kite play done right impressive to behold. You find it rather boring, sadly. You know, it is kind of a do or don't type situation. It either works very well or they get rushed and they die. So like the actual strategy, you know, is boiled down to the one concept of how much you can disrupt the damage of kite and so on. It is understandable. Okay, so I just need the score to be reported and then I can see if my bot command works. I put a lot of effort programming this thing. Hopefully it works. Okay, so a score just needs to be reported. Let me just double check. The leaderboard's not updating. Weird, why is the oh, I know why the leaderboard's not updating. I see. I'll have to fix that. Leaderboard updates always. I see. I know what the problem is. Oh, it should be fine. Okay, so let's do this. And hopefully, if all goes well, it works. And then we can celebrate. Let's save that, and then let's boot this up, and then it should message everyone. The top 4, fingers crossed. Hey, let's go! Sirs Miz versus me. And Berserk versus Danakan. Alright. Yo, I might meet Danakan. We might meet Danakan in the finals if I win this. Oh boy. Well, ain't that exciting? Oh man, here we go. So what I need to do is let's see here. I'm Lizardman and they're going to get to counterpick with 3. Exciting. You kind of forget about unicaps regularly as a casual watcher / campaign guy. I guess you're pretty limited there. Yeah, it's mostly just to stop people from spamming skew builds. Ooh, on Glades of the Everqueen, okay. Yeah, it's to stop people from spamming skew builds and the like. You know, but there's ways you can work around it. Like, as Wood Elves, you can still take 12 Glade Guard, as long as they're different variants. Skaven, Kislev, and Vampire Coast. Ooh, I'll play versus VP. I actually really wanted to see if my Lizardmen build could fight Vampire Coast. If it could, that would be amazing. but very much so TBD on that one. Vampire Coast is actually... Oh man, this will be very interesting. Lizardmen versus Vampire Coast. I have not played this one. There is a good chance that we just lose it. I believe Surzum is quite a proficient Coast player, if I remember correctly. So wariness is an important thing to keep in mind. Interesting. Is there any unit upgrades I can swoopity swap? There we go. Nice. Perfect spend on the top rank. Vampire Coast, basically, if you want to beat them, the solution is simple. Just have an answer for a ton of zombies and have an answer for a ton of crabos. If you do that, you're honestly in a pretty good spot. Soul Grinder of Corn's actually really good versus kite units. I don't know how I feel about that. I know it has a cannon shot. No one's used it though. So I won't say for sure, but most people just use the skull cannon for anti-kite. Alright, this looks like a pretty decent build. It's just Vampire Ghost. Just have to make sure I don't get shredded by the bats, by the flyers, by the ground core. If I see like siren spam, it's probably okay. I think I have enough sources of magic damage where we will live. So yeah, let's just try this. I think this will be fun. Try it, do it. Use the soul grinder. The corn soul grinder. The cannon behaves very strangely. Well, yeah, it's an auto target cannon. It does do damage though. It absolutely does damage, I'll give you that. It's about to be turn 5. It's a campaign battle. 18 skinks and a dino versus 20 deckhands. It's good though. Don't have to deal with the janky AI. Get some actual proper movement going. But yeah, I expect the low tier. If we see Rotting Prometheans though, we can say it is not a turn 5 situation. Maybe a turn 20. Looks like they're almost ready. And they pick Sartosa. How interesting. Remember when picking the sub-faction would give you access to different units? Those were the days. Sartosan Free Company Militia with the perfect vigor. Someone who tried to make Corn Soul Grinder meta, it cannot kite. Within 25 meters, it auto-charges anything. Well, there we go. We have first-hand experience of the Corn Soul Grinder. Imagine, though, if it was good. Two Corn Soul Grinders and a Skull Cannon kiting you out. That would be hilarious. In theory, a shotgun cannon unit should be amazing versus stuff like Horse Masters and Horsemen that would kite you. It would actually flip the meta on its head if they were good, because you can anti-kite. But unfortunately, they're too jank. What's the range on the gun? Still very short, but I think it's slightly longer than you might expect, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it has decent to okay range, but at longer ranges, it starts just missing horrendously. So I don't know if I would... I don't know if you truly appreciate the range that is given to you. Here's the build, by the way. A million skinks again. We're just trying to see how the Lizardman playstyle feels. Ready, good luck, have fun. Just giving a vibe check on it. We got a little roasted, toasted toad over here. They're ready to get a lot of damage on zombos. I have a million skinks. I'm going to use our speed to get some early capture points and just win by tickets. Blizzardman is a very strong capture point faction. They're really, really good at stealing points. This map, though, is quite narrow. So if my opponent goes full wide, it's kind of rough. But there are aquatics. There is shallow water on this map, which means my skinks actually get a buff. They get a very slight buff if they're fighting in here. So potentially we can make use of that. The sick aquatics play. Ah, but you weren't expecting that today, were you? As for my opponent, it looks like we are seeing a couple bombers. I believe that is it's a carronade. Wow, okay. So not quite as man-tidy as it could be. We've certainly seen a much worse. The carronade's pretty good for me. It doesn't have too many targets. That's a great thing. Here we go. You can see those aquatic buffs. Holy crap. It's +4, +5. Bro, skinks being in the water gives them like silver chevrons. Are you kidding me? That's actually kind of good. It's actually kind of insane. I should actually camp this water over here. All hands on deck. Get in there. Start swimming, boys. The time is now. All right, now Vampire Coast Manta is gonna be quite scary. But here's the thing, where they may be slightly terrifying. They're really slow. So they're not gonna catch me. I can take all the good fights that I want to. Just gotta make sure my guys don't get caught by these doggos. Cannons are shooting at my feral cold ones. That's okay. They're cheap. The cannons likely will not be able to get their value back through that. Oh, Silas should just get a slow, though. That's gonna make these guys... It's gonna put them in a slightly awkward position, but I think they'll still be okay. And okay, as a response to the skinks, we're gonna see depth guard. Interesting. Well, let's see how much work we can get done over here. Wait, the zombos also have aquatics. Holy crap, it's actually an aquatics battle. It's aquatics v aquatics, people. Oh, it's a real game now. You know, times are cooking when both sides want to be in the water. Okay, some doggos. They should lose to the cold ones. We're just gonna get our lord kind of in here. Get some work done with them. I just want to not get hit by the bombers and we're good. Anyone know if Moringulls have aquatic? No. Very nice. Okay. And there you go. There's the scurvy dogs getting crumbled away. Very nice. Okay. It's not ain't too bad. Cold ones did kill a dog unit, so that's just a raw trade that is advantage for us. Very nice. Unfortunately, we are seeing some of our boys crumble, but it ain't the end of the world. I still have the capture points, which means I can kind of just play for value for a little bit. And I think that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Just, you know, kite them out, cut the Moringulls, don't give up the points. Shut down the bomber mobs and the like. Life is good. Just chuck a burning head to rip apart those scurvy dogs. And just keep grinding, really. As long as we keep up the grind, it should be quite painful. Banishment is good here, too. I'll be able to distract some pole arms in the distance. That's good. Ooh, and those Moringulls, yeah, they got wrecked. Now, there's going to be a Cav summon, but the Skinks, they always come back. They always come back. They're great. So I don't really have to worry too much about that. Should I park this guy behind a hill, maybe? Maybe. All right. And with this kind of nice early lead, I think we get the Umbral Tide now. Umbral Tide are kind of perfect for this. I just have to make sure this little pocket doesn't fall apart completely, and then we're mostly comfortable. Having the Lord here is certainly good. And as soon as those knights disappear, I think life is going to get a lot easier for us. Right now, those knights, they're going to cause a lot of issues. They're going to cause a rather stupendous amount of issues. But I believe they're on their last legs. Only a few more seconds. We're gonna get a money burning head on these zombies too, and I'm just gonna run away from them while slowing them down. Remember, I still have a ton of capture weight and points, right? So ticket-wise, life is still pretty good. Just keep running from the knights. Run from the knights. What a menace, man. Value-wise, though, we're doing okay. It could be slightly better, but overall, we're doing okay. I'm all over his lines, too, which is perfect. And I got another burning head coming up. And there you go, knights are down. But the capture point does go the way of my opponent. The thing is, though, we can start trading for value. If we play the value game smart enough here, it's not a whole lot that can be done. I might even go for some... oh, crap, the Umbral Tide didn't move up. Well, that's a misplay and a half. Kind of goobered on that front. Whoopsie-doopsies. And he's going to get a dog surround. Oof. Well, that's going to kill those skinks. Very unfortunate. Some slight misplays on my end. Letting some units overextend is not going to be the prettiest situation. You can see dogs do trade into the skinks quite well. But I do have Ripperdactyls now, and we know these guys can get a lot of work done. He also just summoned a bunch of dogs, which are not the most perfect solution. And with the Umbral Tide, if we use them effectively, times will certainly become quite rough for my little opponent. There you go, you see Umbral Tide, lots of deeps on these guys. I'll just leave these ones over here to potentially steal the point. Ripperdactyls are fun though. But will it be enough? Umbral Tide are gonna have a lot of work cut out for them. Do you have magic attacks? No magic attacks. They can probably still put quite the beat down on them sirens though. Value trading says we're advantaged, but I will let you know right now it doesn't feel super advantaged for us. I would say it feels slightly disadvantaged. Maybe this burning head and a point steal will change my mind on that though. But I will have to deal with a ton of sirens, sadly. Umbral Tide doing okay. That's a good burning head though. Certainly many a kill was had over there. Okay, and we should be able to catch out some depth guard with one of our abilities. Not too bad, not too bad. Very nice. And hopefully we can just steal this point back. Like no one's business. It ain't super pretty though. I will not lie. Things could be better for sure. But at least my lord is still safe. The Moringles here are not getting a perfect engagement because they're kind of alone. And Moringles alone simply take too much damage to hold on. But the depth guard are still alive. I think this mostly comes down to the depth guard. Yeah, I will say I do like the Ripperdactyls. They're doing very well. Okay, but I will be able to capture this point. So we're not triple capped, but they did manage to steal one from me. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world by any means. I can get a burning head over here. Maybe catch some doggos. Ooh, that's a money burning head. Absolute money. Very nice. Okay, I might have a chance. We might have a chance. Though the match is still very pitched. That's a good value get though. That's huge. Unfortunately, we don't get the point though, because the support units have all showed up. And the Moringles have managed to hold with that support. I don't like it very much. The cannons are still alive. The cannons are still plonking away at my lord. Yeesh. I must say the depth guard are kind of annoying too. Ticket-wise, we're falling behind on tickets. But the skirmishing continues. This little pocket here looks actually quite exposed too. Maybe a late game Silostra kill could be what we need to turn the tide of battle. He has a lot of doggos everywhere though. But yeah, I think that's what we're gonna play for. If the Ripperdactyls can somehow kill off Silostra, I think that would be a perfect situation for us. More dogs though. And I'm gonna have to throw off this triple cap soon, mind you. Okay, here we go. The Umbral Tide charge the dogs. Do they win? I don't know about that. Triple cap should be thrown off soon though. How's my lord doing? Still alive. Nice. It's actually just the dogs by them. I actually can't afford to let them die. That would be very bad. The Ripidactyls, so far, so okay, actually. They're doing pretty good for themselves. You love to see it. Okay, let's just get more skinks. So I gotta start taking points back ASAP. Okay, Moringulls will actually be suffering a little bit. And I think we will actually want to avoid this side and try and go for a steal. Like, I think I need to steal this point if we want to win this. They have overcommitted over here a bit. So they've left themselves open for me to potentially get this far point. And then if I can hold that for any appreciable amount of time, we're good. But this is going to require some very fancy plays, some very fancy maneuvers. And as it stands, we still don't know exactly how things will play out. I certainly have a lot of skinks. That much is true. And of course, we could potentially get this one, but with the zombies here, probably not. I would need them to overblob or something. And this is looking pretty nice, though. Point is slowly going our way. Very nice. Gonna get more skinks. The skink tide. Skink tide is real. Alley-oop. Get a nice little counter charge on the doggos. They're gonna get a solid burning head down the pipe. And if we seal this one, maybe. Though with this zombie unit getting here, I think it's gonna be a little tight on that capture weight. I don't know if we'll have enough. I actually need to bring in a couple more units, sadly. And this dog is actually barely gonna hold it. Yeah, as expected. Which means I need to take this one. Oof. Well, that's unfortunate. At least he's not targeting my lord, but he does have a zombie bomber alive. I think we're not going to win this one. Though it ended up being actually quite close. We're going to pull in all the skinks, and we're just going to try and get that triple cap going. It doesn't matter how many tickets he gets, as long as we get the triple cap. Then we're good. But we're going to need to get a lot of work done here. We're gonna need a lot of work done, and this is gonna have to go very much our way. Now, this one, yes, we do manage to secure it. I am out of magic, though, which is bad. I don't like that. But it looks like we will be able to get this point. At the very least. It's gonna be a toughie. You can see how slow it is. Vampire Coasts are kings of capture weight, even more than Lizardmen. Oh, and the mass route. No, not the mass route. Oh, man, dude, that's going to end me. If some of them can rally, maybe. But he's going to keep spamming units. Oh. Dang. Maybe on a bigger map. Maybe on a slightly bigger map. But the Vampire Coast, which is a little too tricksy. Even yeah, if both sides have aquatics, it doesn't benefit us. I like the Sirens, though. I think Surzurmiz played a mean coast game. It was very close, though. I think we had a possibility of winning. Although, well, let's not call it quits just yet. Dude, these dogs, though. The doggy spam. What a menace. Okay, we're gonna go for this one. We're gonna see if we can get a quick capture and then maybe steal this one. I think it's more than likely not that the dogs will be able to clean us up and then we lose all the capture weight. But I think we do get this one. Oh, man. Yeah, this is kind of like standard coast, though. I was mostly just wondering if Lizardmen could somehow pull it off. GG, well played. Yeah, I was wondering. I think you could. I think if you gave this matchup to Charix, then you're set. All right, GG. Honestly, very well played. He kept the carronades alive for a very long time. I think I had some good trades with my little velociraptors. The ripperdactyls are kind of fun too. There might be something there with the ripperdactyls. But yeah, as far as I can tell, the skinks really do not like terror. It seems like terror just, you know, they don't route until they absolutely route. Stay in lobby, please. All right, so I'm just going to rejoin my own lobby, and then we'll cast the finals. All right, and we'll get Danakan invited. Danakan beat Berserk. Danakan coming back with a vengeance. Let's see this. Skinks are like upgraded goblins. Yeah, they're fast, they're fighty, but they're still not as fighty as Vampire Coast. Usually if you want to beat Coast, the idea is you mass ranged, so I would need like a bunch of salamander spam to kill him. This was not enough. Danny is on their way. Dang, that was a fun one though. That was really close. The question is, could I have played it differently to win? Could I have played it differently? Like, what would I change up there? The cannon, I think I overcommitted on the cannon, so we lost a lot of skinks. I do wonder if I went harder on the Croxagores if they would have cooked, but I would lose so much width. I don't know if the Croxagores actually change it in our favor or anything. Let's see here. Does anyone know how the matchup rolls in general too? Is that a bad one for the... Is that a bad one for the Coasties? Let me see. This is good though, because when I play Coast, then I know I can counterpick at least what the general vibe is. Lizardmen seem to have a really hard time backdiving that artillery piece. The only way I could do it is if I could sneak some skinks in the back. But even then, the doggos, man. I don't think they have a great solution to that. Let me see. Stats. Lizardmen versus Coast. Not a lot of games. Only 3 games played, so we can't really say. But they did lose 2 out of those 3 games, for what it's worth. Interesting. I do have cheap flyers. I do have pterodons. Are they good enough to survive, like, dog counter charges? So they would have to survive dog counter charges, pistoliers, and the cannons. That's kind of awkward. I don't know if they could survive the cannons. I could see it though, like a Charix level. Ah, brutal though. Absolutely brutal. They don't live. You know, the other fun thing you can do is to take the Shredder of Lustria with Mazdamundi, because Vampire Coast isn't fielding a lot of guns nowadays, and you just run over them. The only problem is the capture weight, but skink spam solves that, right? They might get the cannon. Would they? So I'm spending 2,000. Let's say I have 1, right, and they have 1 cannon. I feel like 1 dog charge, and they're defending, so they'll probably have 2 dogs. 2 dogs countercharging the pterodons. I get 750 gold, they get 1,100. It's not worth. If I bring in 2 pterodons, I'm bringing 2,200, so they can have 4 dogs, or 2 dogs and a Morngul. I still lose. I can see pterodons potentially winning hit and run tactics though. I found they killed zombies very quickly, and they were also good versus sirens and depth guard. I put them in a hard maybe. Needs more experimenting. Looks like we got Sarzarmiz against Danakan now. Okay. This will be fun. Seems like they very much like the Kislev, Skaven, and Vampire Coast. It's actually quite a scary lineup. Between Kislev and Vampire Coast, you have most of your you have most counterplay shut down. Danakan's got his Dark Elves though. Kislev versus Dark Elves, actually a really interesting matchup. How does Danakan play this? Are we gonna see some Scourge Runner play? Yo, Scourge Runners dodging Lil Grom would be sick, man. That would be sick. Pterodons. I think Pterodons are real interesting. It really depends on how annoying Pistoliers are against them. If they just get shoved back by Pistoliers, you're kind of screwed. But undoubtedly in that game, having some reserve Pterodons would have done amazing for me. The bomb drop on some expensive Zombos is great. You can bomb drop on the zombie bombers. Yeah, honestly, a Shredder build. A Shredder build would kind of be sick. But I personally really wanted to see how strong the Skink Mantide is. And I think it's like a solid high B tier. Interesting. Okay, very infantry heavy on both sides. We do see two K-Knight Assassins. Oh boy, this is the grand finals, by the way. Yeah, this is the finals. Interesting. And on the Kislev side, also quite infantry heavy. Neither player really wants to commit into any of their more mobile or tech pieces. They kind of want to get a lay of the land and then decide from there. Interesting. Okay. Huh. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look-see. So we have a little Grom. We have the Horse Archers. We have a bunch of Kislevite Warriors. And Armored Cossars. This lady, very standard kit. Hawks of Miska. Amazing versus infantry. And Hailstorm to counter cavalry. So you kind of have both bases covered for a relatively cheap 2-spell wombo combo. She's a big monster too. All very nice to see. For Danakan, we see a very Danakan build. The only thing that's kind of missing is a Scourge Runner play, but it makes sense that he doesn't want to take it versus the Kislevites. They've bought some anti-cavalry and a little bit of anti-infantry. Who would have guessed? The 2-spell wombo combo strikes again. Does have smoke and mirrors. This was popularized, at least in my eyes, by Danakan. It's a speed buff, lasts 24 seconds, and is army-wide. This would be good as a spell on its own, but it's a passive that you get for casting spells. Very, very good for a faction that is quite melee and wants to get into the fight. They might be wondering, what in the world does a double assassin do? These guys are interesting. They have Web of Shadows, which is basically like a Final Transmutation normal cast. Right on top of them. Very good damage. Great for blobs, great for sniping characters. Overall. Quite nice. But okay, we are seeing a little Grom. My bad, that wasn't the starting build. So preemptively actually trying to deal with the Scourge Runners, but Danakan has opted not to run them. Now that doesn't mean Little Grom is going to be useless. We do see some Cold One Knights in the distance being summoned on in. But as it stands right now, Danakan does not fear the Grom. He's got the dodgy maneuvers on the Supreme Sorceress. It's all good. Look at her just dancing around. Another cannonball comes out. Targets the assassins. Did it clip them? No. Wow, okay. Fun fact, apparently if you're a hero, you can get hit in the face by a cannonball and somehow survive. The tankiness of characters is quite extreme in this game. Not exactly a bad thing though. Another cannonball comes out. Danakan's too good for that. Lots of dodges back and forth. So far Danakan has extremely negated the value of the little Grom, which is a nice, you know, advantage in a vacuum. But if we actually look at the builds, well, we're gonna have to consider a bit more. So let's take a look. You can see this Kislevite army quite small, right? That's not gonna be great. Little Grom's targeting the infantry now, which can force the Dark Elves into a bad fight. if they have to reinforce from this tree line over here and the Kislevites can summon cavalry, you can see the distance. It's quite a bit better for the Kislevites, right? About 35% better. So that's going to help them out a lot. And they also haven't brought in their units yet. So potentially you could see a lot of counters being brought in. Maybe Lil Grom picks off some artillery. These are the ways that the Kislev army can win. Now, first few volleys come out onto the K-Knight Assassins. It's going to do a little bit of damage, but if they don't die, HP is just a resource, remember, they're going to be able to cook. And these Armored Cossars are exposing their flanks for a bit of charging. Pit of Shades got about 500 gold value, about 400. Still quite impressive. Taking care of a rather annoying unit. Some armored units when the Dark Elf doesn't have a lot of armor piercing outside of the range. So overall, I'd say that's good. And the Warriors are not looking too hot either. Overall, I'd say this is pretty nasty. Are we going to see a Web of Shadows? Is this a bait? What is this? Ice Witch just goes right past the Assassins. Maybe Danakan wasn't looking. I feel like Web of Shadows would have been in here, but maybe he's waiting for a better opportunity. Can't get better than this, though. Ice Witch is right on top of them. But no trigger. Maybe they're trying to bait it out, because technically the Ice Witch, if she runs away, I think she can escape the damage. But now that the Assassins are out of combat, look at that. They're just walking her. Walking her down the road. She's slowed. She has Web of Shadows. She can't escape. This thing does have a slow on it. And as long as they keep chasing, yeah, look at that damage. Already half HP. Brutal damage on the Ice Witch, but on the flank side, it's a little bit of a different story. Actually, never mind. Those Wing Lancers are quite caught up in the cavalry here, so not the best situation. It's actually the right side that is going slightly better for the Kislevite infantry, but overall, I'm a little worried. I think the passive is going to trigger soon for the Dark Elves, and that's going to be very bad for the Kislevites. They're going to need to rout off these Dark Shards to somehow pull back an advantage, but they do it. The Dervishes get into the cookie jar, and we see one rout, one shatter. Now the shattered one's gonna rally and get the usage of the passive. The routed one, though, is a little bit more shut down. Danakan actually looks like they spec'd a little too hard on the range units here, and now they're getting kind of overwhelmed. Cavalry fight going very well for the Kislevites too. Danakan's actually falling a little bit behind. Quite impressive, actually. That big cav dive into the backfield is doing work, and look at that, a Wing Lancer right on the Dark Shards. Are we going to see a Danakan loss? The cavalry plays are sick, but you got to remember, there's still two Assassins running around, and the Lord doesn't heal unless the Patriarch shows up. He has, though. And that's going to make sniping this Ice Witch much more difficult for Danakan. Value trading still close, though. Got to remember, Dark Elves do still have Cold One Knights, and these are world beaters. The Kislev cavalry has been traded for the Dark Shards, which means, yes, the Cold One Knights can actually start pulling an advantage. Look at them shoving back the Kislev forces. Wing Lancers getting slowed. That gives them a speed bonus. Acceptable levels of speed. And this one is in the cookie jar. If this one dies, though, this Cold One Knight is super important. This is going to become a mobility fight very soon. And if they live, then Danakan could potentially claw back a victory. Because look at how scary these guys are, right? They're super buffed by the passive. Now, it's running out on these ones, but new Cold One Knights rocking that 100 leadership for a second there. Yeah, they can definitely take a fight. They want to take a fight. And the Assassins are still chilling. Now, are we going to see another Web of Shadows? Has it already been used? That one's been used. The one on the Lol Grom, it has also been used. So Lol Grom is shut down. Lord still alive on both sides. But Danakan does have the 2 capture points. In an even fight, the player with more capture points is going to win, because both sides trade, but the tickets are still in their advantage. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Cold One Knights are kind of forced into a fight with the slows from the Lord, and Miska hits the infantry, which should in theory turn this into a Kislev advantage, but there's still so much left here. You have a Dark Rider, 2 Dark Riders coming in from the side. The Lil Grom's going to run down. I think the Lil Grom might even be the weakest part about this build. It hasn't done too much, and it's been more of a liability than anything else, but I guess it did force a fight. But I don't know. I feel like more cavalry might have helped the Kislevite forces. It's questionable, though. when you're behind, you kind of wish you had anything to scrap it back. And right now, I'd say Kislev is very slightly behind. They do get a terror route on the Cold One Knights. Lord is still alive, but Lil Grom is down. And that means Assassin number 2 is now free to fight this giant Frostworm. Much like the Tomb King's trailer, K-Knight Assassins are happy to walk into any deadly situation, apparently. And indeed, he's looking for that fight. Their stats are quite good. Their melee attack is actually absurdly high. At 70, that's more than Sigvald. So they can actually outduel basically anyone as long as they're not getting cycle charged. A little bit of a Dark Rider overextension, though, from Danakan could be rough. They did lose their passive, getting to the battlefield and fighting a little bit. And there is still one Armored Cossar alive. But still, look at those points. We're almost at the tipping point where Danakan wins just by holding out a bit longer. If Danakan can just keep the trading kind of close, it's going to be great for him. But look at that huge charge from the Patriarch. Massive 40 charge bonus is enough to get through the melee defense of the Assassin. And one might bite the dust. They don't have ITP. So this guy could be terror routed by the Ice Witch, but she doesn't want to fight him. Instead offering or going for just the raw value plays. Shutting down some Dark Riders instead. Over on the far side, we're looking at just a couple Dervishes cleaning up a couple Cold One Knights. If you have enough numbers, you can counter your counters. But I still don't see capture weight. Now, both sides have summoned in as much as they could. We see a Halberd summon and another Dark Rider summon. So it seems like Danakan just wants to focus on that. And he sees the writing on the wall. He knows that his army is probably going to die. Because he's down the Assassins and he's stuck just summoning in the reserves. So Danakan is instead opting for the tickets. These units could be fighting and getting a little bit more value. But instead of doing that, Danakan just wants to accelerate this. Because if the game lasts too long, the value is going to be lost anyways. But actually taking the Witch Elves off the point, maybe Danakan changed their mind. Maybe they felt that the cavalry would protect the point anyway, so it's not needed. Pulls them off instead to go back to the trading. I think that's a smart play. It makes a lot of sense. Kislev can stop the capture if they wanted to. You see they have 10 capture weight coming on in. And Danakan instead, he's actually just converting it into massive value. Look at that. Things in the woods getting obliterated. Infantry obliterated. The Witch Elves are awesome in these kind of low unit situations without cavalry. Because they can just sit. They can just sit here and be protected by Dark Riders. And in the meantime, they just chop everything up. These ladies are insane. Their value, their melee attack bonus, very nice. But Amiska could change that. Unless it's a Pit of Shades. But no, Danakan is not killing his own units. It is Amiska indeed. And that means this point will probably be held. And what Danakan wants here, he's not trying to win this fight. He wants to trade this army down. If he can trade him down to about 6 capture weight, maybe just the Ice Witch and the Patriarch, that's an amazing situation. But so far, we see one big route. The Ice Witch is getting a lot of work done, but her leadership is low. She did use her Buyer Blood. And a big Cold One Knight charge does connect with the Wing Lancers. That's actually massive. Wing Lancers are the ultimate in cleanup ability. And if they die, there's not a whole lot Kislev can do to mop up the rest of these forces. Big Ice Storm, though. Massive play from the Kislevites. This game's actually going to be really close, guys. This game's going to be hella close. Danakan still has 1,000 in the bank. He has more money than the Kislevites, but I think he's still waiting on some units to be brought in. We're seeing a little bit of cleanup on the Witch Elves, but Danakan's definitely at the point where he wins on a 1-cap. The thing is, though, Kislev's starting to come out on top. The value lead is just ever so slightly in their advantage. Good Malkoths, though. He's trying to outmaneuver the Wing Lancers to try and get that mobility lead. Because look at all these units. He wants them to come back. But it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. More Kislev units enter the battlefield. And this is looking pretty bad. Though an extremely close match for sure. I think Kislev is probably going to capture this, though. You can see some distraction plays from the Lord. He doesn't want this 6 capture weight to get on the point. But now it's going to be a little tough. So Danakan needs to hold this point for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. If the Kislev forces can just clear out this group of units In 5 minutes, they win. Kislev can absolutely play for the value. And if they do, I think Danakan loses. He's going to need a little bit of a miracle. He's going to need to hope that the magic runs out on these guys. He's already on some pretty decent charges here, you know, some sick plays. These Bleak Swords are going to have a slightly higher charge bonus, 12 more seconds, if they can connect in time, which they will. And we're going to see some Cold One Knights getting in there. Some things in the woods, no attack command, so they just kind of walk into each other. A little bit awkward. And he's going to use his cavalry. He uses cavalry to try and get an advantage, knocking down the infantry. Cavalry is very good versus infantry. But this is certainly very sketchy. Kislev has decided to leave a couple units on point 1, which I think is maybe overly safe. But it does ensure that they can kill off these witch elves. So I think if they can manage that, it's actually fine, as long as they're getting value. And then it's just going to come down to this. Yet another spell drops, too. Another hailstorm. That's very cheap. It's only 6 winds of magic. Kislev surely is starting to run out of magic now, though, and that means each Cold One Knight summon's going to be a pain. Good pullback, though, on the Lancers. If you can't magic them down, you're going to need some exquisite cavalry micro. But with the Horse Archer, they might get shut down by some Dark Riders. That would be very bad. The middle over here is getting captured, but no, Danakan actually gets a Dark Rider in. Dark Riders do have that bonus, Murderous Prowess. When the passive triggers for the Dark Elves, they can indeed summon in new units to keep up that passive. They don't lose it after the trigger. And if this Lord goes down, that would be bad. Danakan is pulling out everything he possibly can to kill her too. Even the Supreme Sorceress is cycle charging this Lord. And oh my gosh, look at that. Passive triggered on 3 units. Did the Ice Witch overstay their welcome? Maybe in their rush to get the point, the Kislevites may have taken too few fighty units. 2 skirmishers instead of more melee cavalry. Infantry on the far side, not supporting this fight. That could potentially be the game ender here. And there's not a lot of capture weight. Bleak Swords are still around, and the Supreme Sorceress, she's cycle charging, man. She's hitting this Ice Witch with her staff. On the charge, she has effective 33 or 63 melee attack. That's enough to hit her. And the baits too. Oh my gosh, look at this. Danakan pulling the Supreme Sorceress back into the infantry to try and distract the Horse Archers. They opt to just get the charge too, but he's trying to bait as much with her as possible. And he finally gets the route. Ice Witch Tempest goes down. She does get a vigor reset, but it's not enough. And Danakan going for the filthy value plays, getting a lot of work done, but it's still not over yet. The reinforcements have finally been brought in. Surzum is realizing that, yes, this point's not going to get stolen by Danakan. I just have to make a play. Danakan's been investing so many resources here. There's no way he's going to have any money to send units there. And 10 capture weight is a lot. Potentially enough to get the point. But will it be enough? Oh my gosh! The Supreme Sorceress with the steel chair right in the back. With some exquisite cycle charging. She's exhausted, man. Actually just exhausted. Doesn't even have enough charge bonus left, but it's just enough to kill that big old worm. And I think Danakan's going to do it. We're looking at 40 seconds left indeed to try and get this point, but that's not a lot of time. Halberds are making the mad dash, and I think Danakan's gonna do it. I always say Danakan is the best capture point player in the entire game. Somehow the guy manages to steal the points and make you regret every decision that you have ever made. And despite down trading in the early game, Dark Elves are amazing at holding on to the last point because they always get that Murderous Prowess proc. And just like that, Danakan gets the victory. I can't believe it. I didn't think the Ice Witch was gonna die, but somehow she dies. Somehow she dies to the extreme cycle charging. What a menace! Danakan showing why he is one of the best players in the entire world, somehow clawing back what we thought would be a complete disaster. They get the win. with 2,000 gold value on this lady. Now, the Ice Witch, both ladies here, both casters, getting massive value. But this one was certainly way more expensive. What a nail biter. What a nail biter. I think the early game was slightly worse for Danakan, but the late game was solid, man. Danakan, congrats on the Dark Elf victory. Your tournament win will be given soon. Some insane plays. I think the starter builds are kind of rough. You can see the dark shards didn't get a ton of value. Some of them got some pretty good shots though, so on average they still did pretty good. But they weren't like, you know, they didn't win it for them, right? What really won it for them were probably these Cold One Knights, cleaning up the mess of Kislevites. I love the Witch Elf summons to put the pressure on. But man, that was a close one. I think Kislev should have just taken more time though to just value trade. They were already on their way to value trade city. They could have taken more horse archers, but that's the thing about Danakan. If you don't play perfectly, you can get wrecked. GG. Well played. And the tournament point has been given to Danakan. I hope you guys had a great time. I certainly did. It's great looking at these very close matches when people aren't cheesing each other like how I cheesed Danakan earlier. We get an actual fight, some solid back and forth. And hopefully we see more of them. Danakan's kind of been making a resurgence lately, so I'd love to see them more. But to all of you guys, I will see you guys next time. Now, I will be busy, unfortunately, tomorrow. We're gonna be busy, maybe Monday. I might actually be free Monday. We'll have to feel it out. But don't expect too many streams over the next couple weeks. I have a whole lot of stuff to get done. But as soon as that's over, we'll be back in full force. Peace.